Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How you doing? I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here. Today we're going to talk about Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. This is a creepypasta. Fun fact, before reading this, I actually listened to the podcast Groupcast, and that's how I figure out what this book is. And apparently the author said that whoever was on the creepypasta, he added more to it. So I decided, sure, I'll read it. This is about a romantic getaway to a cabin where weird things are happening. Basically, a mimic is there. And you follow the main character, name is Felix, and then his girlfriend, Faye, throughout this whole story. And weird things happen in this cabin, and there's like a mystery of like the number 5 and why this thing wants Faye throughout the whole story. And I'm going to say the biggest weakness to this whole book is it truly does feel like a short story. So there's like 3 parts in this book, and each part just feels like its own little story. None of it, like there's connections in it, but it feels like every part could just be a short story and then we would be done and move on. And that's how it felt with this book. I felt like I was almost like really trugging on of trying to finish this book, especially the last part. This book ends where the podcast ended. About the 200 page mark is where it ended. So to me, I was like, oh, okay, so this should be interesting. Maybe what's going to be the finale? What was the add-on to it? And honestly, the add-on was just it was just a lot of fluff, and it felt like it was really just, I don't know, kind of disappointing. Why I say that is every chapter of this book, something creepy happens, and it almost gets to the point where you kind of lose the creepiness. And that's why I say I feel like this was just short stories. And he even says at the beginning that it started off being a short story for the Reddit on No Sleep Reddit. Then he just turned it into a novel because of how popular, and like won an award, which is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. The first part of this book, super creepy. Even the second part with the weird things that Faye was doing was super creepy. But then after that, it felt like, well, it's the same exact thing. Every chapter, something weird was just happening. And it did a lot of the typical like horror movie trope where it's like, you could get this solved, but there's reasons why you can't solve it because reasons. That's how it felt like. Like he had some people that would help him, that could help him, but there was always a reason why they never could actually help him until one of them dies, or one of them's like, oh, well, we have to do more research on it. It was fine, but to me, reading it, I just felt like there was parts where I'm like, well, couldn't he like look into it a little bit more? That's how I was thinking about it. The biggest part that really drove me nuts is the parents of this. So these parents own this cabin, and weird things happen to the parents when they were out there with Faye. They never warned them about this weirdness before. Instead, they're like, I didn't think it was gonna happen again. Bro, there's this weird creature thing that's talking to your daughter. What do you mean it wouldn't happen? And then it even affected the father in this. So it's like all these things happen, but you guys are like, oh no, you guys go out there. Cute little camp getaway, huh? And it's like, I don't know how I was looking at it. I just felt like it was a really bad way to do it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But the more and more I kept thinking about, the more and more I was like, I don't know, man. I just feel like the parents part was really lukewarm. Maybe if the parents just didn't know what was actually going on, that probably would have been a little better. And there's this whole thing about the number 5 thing. I wasn't the biggest fan of the reasoning why she couldn't remember number 5. Like, I guess the ending was fine with it, but I don't know, there's just a few things I feel like that could have been a little different. Now, one thing I will say is it's written really well, and it's really spooky and it's creepy, but yet again, when it happens every chapter, you kind of just grow numb to it and you don't get as spooked out anymore. So I'm like, I don't know, I was very lukewarm with it towards the end. The first 2 parts, I was locked in. I was like, damn, this might be like a 4.5 read, but it didn't, sadly. Now, if I had to give an honest rating for this book, which I always do give honest ratings, I would give this a 3.5 out of 5. On Goodreads, it's gonna be a 4 because there's just 3s and 4s depending on where they're placed. It just really determines. So 3.5 for this book, but on 4, it's a 4 on Goodreads. Even though Goodreads doesn't give half stars, everyone wants freaking half stars. I don't know why Goodreads doesn't. Just drives me nuts. I had a video about that, check that one out. I really do like this book. I feel like if Felix has more books out there, I might try to read his other works just to see maybe he just grew as a writer, because that is the truth. I mean, especially if it's your first novel. From my experience, your first novel is usually the weaker one anyways, and then your other books just grow and become way better anyways. So that's just how I look at it. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. Did you guys read Felix Blackwell's Stolen Tongues, or have you not read it? If you have, let me know down below. Or have you seen the Creepcast episode? If you have, let me know down below as well. And last but not least, make sure you guys stay safe, stay humble, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay weird.